Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Flicks on Connie X. Today we're gonna be seeing how Con makes the evil Royal Knights Digimon. Let's hop in.
Royal Knights. A group of knightly Digimon's Royal Knights. A group of knightly crusading Digimon. In various Digimon media that kinda save the digital world. In a lot of their appearances, the Royal Knights are actually kinda assholes, but nonetheless they're still ostensibly the good guys, which got me thinking.
They're good guys, but they're assholes. It's like Perfect Man from The Awesomes. He's a good guy, but a huge, yeah.
What would their evil counterparts look like? We got tons of other Digimon groups like the Olympus 12, the Crack Team, the D-Brigade, and so on, but what if there was just a group designed to ruin the Royal Knight's day? A group compromised to be their Ustabayas, their Dark Avengers, their League of Super Evil. A group of 12 Digimon designed to be the dark half to the Royal Knights. Well, in today's video I'm going to propose exactly that.
League of Super Evil. I remember that show. It wasn't too bad.
What is up, digital companions? My name is ConEX and welcome back to another video. But it's not welcome back. Subscribe right now. The fate of the digital world is in your hands. And yeah,
subscribe!
the getting evil counterparts. Like I said, we do have groups like the Olympus 12 or other Digimon groups like the Demon Lords or the Death Generals, but often they are made up of various types of Digimon, and in the case of the Death Generals, different levels of Digimon. I want this to be a match-for-match group with thematic links to all of the members. So we begin with one of the head honchos, one of the most famous ones at least, and that is Omnimon or Omegamon. And I think
Omnimon, the first of the Royal Knights. His opposite would have to be Alphamon. No, wait, is that what it's called? I think it is.
A really obvious counterpart, seeing as Alphamon is already in the Royal Knights, is the reasonably recent Digimon Abadamon Core. It was the big bad of Digimon Adventure 20.
Oh, wait. Alphamon is a member of the Royal Knights. Okay, never mind. And, I feel like I should just redo this.
2020, and the final combatant that Omnimon and Alter S fought against in the finale. Plus, something that I don't think is talked about enough is that Abadamon Core is very clearly meant to evoke imagery of Omnimon, with its red and black half, the cape, and so on. In fact, very specifically, it feels like it's an even more degraded version of Omnimon's Warped Defeat. I think that red side and that red blade in particular are no coincidence. We don't have a ton of lore on Abadamon Core right now, it's only appeared in one series, but it really wouldn't surprise me if at one point it was going to be Omnimon's Warped, so I think this is a great parallel to Omnimon. Magnamon is next up, and one of the more difficult for this video. It is a real shame that there is no official Dark Armor Digivolution. We did do a video on it, however, if you want to check out the card on screen right now, but
I remember that video, I watched that video, that was a good video.
As that is not an actual reality, I'm not going to use those here. So trying to come up with something that felt like a dark parallel to Magnamon was a little tricky. There are Digimon like the dark version of Imperial Ultramon Fighter Mode, which could have worked, I guess. They don't actually share a ton of history. Another pick could be Apoclymon, as my good bud Proto said, because Apoclymon is made out of the data of deleted Digimon, which is almost kind of like an evil miracle, and Apoclymon himself kinda looks like a Digimental, but I have settled on Cherubimon Vice. It is the enemy that brought around the Golden Armor Digivolution into Magnamon and Rapidmon in Hurricane Touchdown. And while yes, there is also Chimeramon, who is one of Magnamon's primary foes in Adventure 02, the actual show, I'm saving something Chimeramon related for a little bit later in the video, which I think makes more sense. So it's going to be Cherubimon Vice. I think it works nicely as well if you consider that Magnamon is heavily armored and Cherubimon Vice has got absolutely no armor. There's a nice parallel there, a nice inversion. Galamon is incredibly simple. I'm going with Megidramon, but I would have this Megidramon be able to mode change at will to Chaos Gallantmon, because in Megidramon's reference book it says that according to one theory, Megidramon and Chaos Dukemon are the same being. So I don't need to pick one or the other, they can both be the pick here.
Yeah, Galamon is actually called Dukemon, but the name was changed to Galamon in the American version.
Complete dark side to Gallantmon. And let me remind you, looking knightly is not really a prerequisite for the Royal Knights. A lot of them do kind of look like knights, but then there's like Gankumon, who is just a guy with clogs. And if these are an evil Royal Knight, they don't need to be knights anyway. These can be like the royal bastards. Dynasmon, I'm gonna go with the very recent, in fact, technically not actually.
I'm sorry, but I actually like that. They're not the Royal Knights, they're the Royal Bastards of the Digiboss. Love it.
appeared in the anime yet, Arcturusmon. They're both bipedal, humanoid, and winged, and while Dynasmon is more based on a wyvern and Arcturusmon is more based on a dinosaur, I think they do match up really well. Obviously there's no real lore connection between the two, but on a physical level, Dynasmon's white and blue design is a really great inversion to Arcturusmon's overall black and pink one. Moving over to Lord Nightmon, Lord Nightmon normally presents masculine despite its more, I guess, feminine appearance, although really it's just pink. I think that's why a lot of us think of it as feminine. So if you did want to pursue that angle, I guess you could go with Lilithmon because it's a commander in the Bagra army. However, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky here and choose an X-Antibody Digimon. Typically, this wouldn't be the case as all of the Royal Knights also have an X-Antibody form, but frustratingly, Dark Nightmon is only an Ultimate or Perfect level Digimon, whereas its X-Antibody form, Dark Nightmon X, is a Mega. Ideally, I would just choose the base Dark Nightmon here. Lord Nightmon is said to be the commander of all Nightmon. So a Dark Nightmon, essentially a variant or family of the Nightmon, rebelling against Lord Nightmon is super on brand. But because this whole group has to be Mega level Digimon, I have to specifically use Dark Nightmon X. This is another one of those weird foibles in the wake of Cross Wars. Plus, there's nothing really saying that one random X-Antibody can't be a member of a core team, you know? Just because that's been the case historically, it doesn't have
no limitations
to be the case going forward. Then we move over to Ulforce Vidramon, and a very obvious counterpart for this would be Arcadiamon, specifically Arcadiamon Ultimate. Arcadiamon was one of the prominent villains in V-Tamer. I guess the main villain was Demon, but Arcadiamon certainly had a lot of fights, and I think it would be a more interesting Digimon to pull from. Alphamon's interesting because he's one of the ones that is used more often as an enemy. He's kind of the Patrick Swayze and Roadhouse of the gang, stepping in to confront the others even when they think they're in the right or when they're definitely in the right, kind of like an Adventure Try. So I'm just going to make Alphamon's counterpart evil as hell in Millenniummon. There are some thematic links between the two. Alphamon has two very prominent pre-evolutions, mainly Dorumon, but sometimes Ryudamon, and Alphamon or Yuken, of course, is a blending of the Dorumon and Ryudamon lines. And similarly, Millenniummon is the zenith of Machinedramon and Chimeramon, who in turn themselves are also an amalgamation of two sets of Digimon. Millenniummon is, of course, used as an adventure villain and ghost game villain now, weird, in its various incarnations between Millenniummon, Zed Millenniummon, and Moon Millenniummon, so I think it's only natural that something of this caliber would be part of an evil Royal Knights team, and I think it works nicely as a counterpart to Alphamon. Craniummon, the one that I struggled the most with because I think he's the most evil looking Royal Knight. If Alphamon's the one that acts out the most, Craniummon's the one that's most badly judged, I guess. I've just gone with Gaiumon Ito mode. Gaiumon himself would also work fine, I think would be good in this group. Ito mode just has a similar weapon to Craniummon. Now obviously Gaiumon is a Greymon species derived Digimon, so it could work for Omnimon, but it just didn't feel like it had as many thematic links to Omnimon as a Badamon core did, but that means we still get to fold it in there. It's said that it specializes in silent swordplay, in which it instantly cuts down its opponent without even making a sound. Whereas it is said that Craniummon fires sonic waves at supersonic speeds, which presumably would be pretty loud. Yes, it's a stretch, don't get me wrong, but at least it kind of fits. Moving over to
That actually does make sense. You gotta have the loudest knight to have a silent counterpart. It all fits.
I have made its dark counterparts Belphamon Rage Mode. They're both animalistic beast-like Digimon and both have mode changes. Duftmon can go to Leopard Mode and Belphamon Rage Mode can go to Belphamon Sleep Mode and vice versa. For Examon, I'm going with Lucamon Satan Mode. They're both big, draconic looking Digimon, and Lucamon in all its various versions have a big connection to the Royal Knights, specifically in Digimon Frontier, but also in media outside of that. While Examon itself doesn't necessarily have that specific link to Lucamon, more so being Dynasmon and Lord Nightmon, I just didn't think those two should have been kind of counterparted by Lucamon specifically, but again, that still means that it gets to be in the group. Gankumon, I have assigned Tactimon. They're both very combat-focused Digimon and honorable in some ways, but the nice duality is that Gankumon fights with his fists and his energy, whereas Tactimon is all about his blade. Jessmon, I'm partnering with Bagramon, and so I think because there's such a prominent face-off between the Bagra army and the Royal Knights in the Cross Wars manga, Bagramon had to go here somewhere, and if Jessmon's name does come from Jesus, Bagramon's name coming from a demonic inversion of Gabriel, the Angel of Revelation, makes sense, it works. And then our final Royal Knight to get a counterpart is Sleepmon or Kentorusmon, whose evil side will be Nidhoggmon, another relatively recent Digimon, but Nidhogg in Norse mythology is the serpent that gnaws of the root of the world tree, Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil in Digimon media being someone that often commands and adds duties for the Royal Knights, and guess what? Kentaurousmon's Japanese name Sleepmon comes from Sleipnir, also of Norse mythology. Can you tell that I am well happy with myself for that connection? Alright,
Yeah.
that is it. My picks for an evil group of Royal Knights. I am really happy with these picks because of the lore and visual connections, but of course this is far from the objective best list. Let me know in the comments below your picks for an evil group of Royal Knights, and also let me know what Digimon group do you want to see fabricated next.
Why not?
A counterpart group to the Olympos 12, or just something completely different. Let me know. Huge shout outs to my sovereign.
Well, folks, that's what we're going to end today's video. This one was kind of a little strange, kind of just all over the place. Just zip, zip, zip. But, hey, I think that's just what's going to happen. Anyway, that's what we're going to end today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Link will be in the description, and I'll see all you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.